Trump shackles the free press, or at least he's trying. It is an authoritarian trademark to go after the free press, and it has been happening in Trump's America for the last year. Donald's regime shows no signs of stopping their continuous assault on the press and free speech. They have created an alternate universe with hard-right podcasters taking up seats left behind by bona fide reporters at the Pentagon. Donald himself personally attacks female reporters any chance he gets, denigrates them, demeans them, calls them names, and tells them to shut up. He has personally attacked late-night comedy hosts, leading to Stephen Colbert's cancellation on CBS and Jimmy Kimmel's short cancellation on ABC. Donald has also sued media companies and threatened FCC action against others. ABC settled their lawsuit for $15 million. Legacy media is bending over backwards for access while Donald Trump and his regime do nothing but create hostile work environments for reporters reporting the truth. This latest retraction by Barry Weiss, a Trump ally and the current head of CBS, of the 60-minute segment about the sea-caught prison in El Salvador is a brazen demonstration of how Donald Trump has been successful in strong-arming some of the biggest news companies to follow his directions, focus on his regime's priorities, and not report the truth about what the regime is doing. But it is not working. This prolonged and persistent campaign to manage and coerce the press has not been successful. As we have seen just today with the Seacott prison video that got leaked, and now it is all over social media. And, it didn't matter that Barry Weiss retracted it and pulled it. It was leaked by somebody. And it is information that we know. But it was now confirmed by 60 Minutes and by their reporting of people who witnessed the torture in El Salvador and where Donald Trump sent these people without due process of law. And just today, Judge Boasberg ruled that these people are still owed due process of law, and they were deprived of that by Donald Trump's regime. So while Donald is shackling major media organizations, independent media like The Bulwark, Midas Touch, and Public Notice are picking up the slack left by compromised legacy media. Expert journalists like Katie Couric and Charlie Sykes, historians like Heather Cox Richardson and Joanne Freeman, legal experts like Judge J. Michael Luttig, Glenn Kirshner, and Steve Vladeck, economists like Nobel Prize-winning Paul Krugman, and political pundits like Sarah Longwell and Bill Kristol now publish their own media on Substack, YouTube, and other platforms. For every legacy media organization Donald compromises, 10 independent media groups and or engaged citizens fill the void left behind by an encumbered and coerced legacy press industrial complex. So what Donald has really been successful in doing is creating a much larger information ecosphere where information cannot be controlled. His heavy-handedness has created legions of engaged citizens to consume, create, and share to engage the masses. In the long run, whether large media organizations will remain relatively independent like the New York Times or be owned by some billionaire will matter little, because Donald Trump has unwittingly created an army of information consumers and creators, and I mean information which is based on truth, facts, and reality that has been researched, that has been backed by court documents, and not misinformation or disinformation, which are meant to lead people astray for this disinformation and misinformation, which is just irresponsible by people who spread it without properly vetting it. I am talking about information consumers and creators across the political spectrum who are too small for Donald Trump's regime to notice, but are integral in keeping the safety net so we as a society are not completely abandoning the truth, reality, and the priorities of the masses, which is the object of our democracy based on our Constitution and the rule of law. So with that said, keep your eye out. Remember to always be engaged with what is happening in our communities. And remember to seek the truth and live in a fact-based reality in this highly sensationalized and propagandized atmosphere and information ecosphere. Thank you for listening. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.